Hi my lovelies, hi my babies, and hi my beautiful best friends. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Reyna, and welcome to the Why Men Love Bitches book club. Today we're starting with chapter 1. From doormat to dream girl. Everyone has known a nice girl. She is the woman who will overcompensate and give everything to a man she barely knows. More like the people pleaser. She's the woman who gives blindly because she wants so much for her attention to be reciprocated. She is the woman who goes along with whatever her man thinks. All right. Action principle 1. Anything to a person chases in life runs away. That is very true. That is so true, because anything you physically yell at, scream at, chase, run after, gone. Like, for sure, gone. Why? Because it's so annoying. Like, the neediness is so annoying. Trust me. If you chase him in a black nightie, first he'll have sex with you and then he'll run. So like, she's already giving it up on the first time. Like, we have to bring it back a second. Don't give it up on the first time. Don't give it up. Like, the first option, I say this to everybody, the first option is not always the best option, not the one you're supposed to take. There are so many times in life where you're handed like 8 options and you take the first one you get. Like, no, chill, pipe down. Okay, he runs from the woman's behavior, doesn't suggest that she places a high value on herself because she's giving it up right away. The relationship is new to him, yet she already dealt her best cards to him. What's being said is basically like, you're giving it up so fast for free, and he's putting in no effort. So he's not going to put in effort because you already gave it up so fast. You get what I'm saying? So you have to chill, sit back, and observe. Trust me. Don't always hand a man the first thing. What gets lost is his appreciation for her extra effort. Once a man begins to lose respect for a woman because she is willing to devalue herself, he will also lose desire to get close to her. This is why the woman he really falls in love with doesn't serve a 4-course meal. So basically, I just want to put myself in reference, because I'm the type of girl, I'm not going to give it up on the first night. I'm not going to give it up the first time. You're not going to see me, like, I'm pretty bitchy. I really am. Like, I give off this persona of like, hey, hold up. She's not going to be the person who's going to cook you a 4-course meal. She's not going to be the person who's there after everything. I'm there emotionally for people, but like, physically, not really. Not really. Action principle 2. The women who have the men climbing the walls for them aren't always exceptional. Often they are the ones who don't appear to care that much. Me. Okay. This isn't about how to play the game or how to manipulate someone. This is about whether you are genuine needy or whether you are genuine showing him that you'll be an equal partner in the relationship. It's about whether you are capable of holding your own in the relationship. Okay, that was a mouthful. He'd think you're desperate and he just wants to see how far he can take you. This is like something like, when you are the type of person to like do a people pleaser, especially when it comes to boyfriends and men, when you are a people pleaser to them, they don't care. Like, it's just, whatever, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Crazy. Overcompensating or being too eager to please will lessen the man's respect. So true. The mental challenges have to do with whether you expect to be respected, or it has to do with whether he knows that you aren't afraid to be without him. I'm not afraid. Okay, so I want to like dissect this for a second. I'm not afraid to be without a man. I'm not. But us as co-creators of the universe, we're designed to have a compatible partner. And that's why I believe, like, yes, there is a man out there for me. Yes, I believe that. But also, I don't believe you should settle just because you think that that man is your man, if that makes sense. Like, just because you feel compatible doesn't mean you might be, because I thought I was compatible to somebody who was not compatible to me whatsoever. So you have to take a second and really just dissect, understand things. Ooh, somebody just subscribed to the channel. Hey girl. Okay. Let's soften the point where the woman starts to complain, because the nice girl's always available and the bitch is not available all the time. Okay, now with this being called, this is the booty call situation too. This is where whenever you get those dick appointments, booty calls, he calls you in the middle of the night and you run to the beck and call. Don't do that. Know your worth, know your value, and value yourself, and do not devalue just because you want to have sex. Even if you want to have sex, he needs to respect you enough to have sex and make plans during normal people hours and not hoe hours. Okay? So do not be available all the time. Just because he calls you every single night at 3 a.m., you're going to get up and run over there and put on your best lingerie. No, we're not doing that. Action principle 3. A woman is perceived as offering a mental challenge to the degree that a man doesn't feel he has 100% hold of her. All right, listening to him. This is a bad thing because then he knows he can't walk all over her. But remember, a mental challenge has little to do with being compatible. It has to do with your actions and how much of yourself you're willing to give up. Women are conditioned to give themselves away. I have yet to see a man's magazine with an article of how to cook a 4-course meal. Now let me address this. This is very true because women are suppressed to this feeling and this belief system that back in the day, and to this day, like, we are caregivers and we're supposed to be this. For a feminine stance, yes, I understand what it's saying, but I don't believe that a woman should always do everything. I don't believe that. Why? Because to a point, a man lived without you before he met you. He should know how to do laundry, how to cook, clean, stuff like that. Yes, I do believe these things. Also understand where people are coming from, as in that is a woman's job. Also understand where it's coming from as equal support, spousal support, stuff like that. But hear me out. The feminine energy that men give off, yes, men do have feminine energy. They have feminine power as well. Is going to be an emotional power versus a cooking and cleaning and fixing this and fixing that. So if you want these things to happen, you need to attend to his femininity, which is his emotional support, in order for him to help you with these tasks. Take my word for it. All right. If he has a lot to offer, but you don't allow him to come your way, he'll have no other option but to back off. When a nice girl overcompensates, her behavior says, what I have to offer isn't enough, and who I am isn't enough. All right. I'm enough versus I am not enough, and I'll take it and I'll leave it. They are two separate things. They are different. This is kind of crazy. Like, when I started reading this book, I was like, how many other people kind of have, just want to hear me talk about it? When a woman is upset, she is easy to read, and a man can easily gauge how much a woman wants or needs the relationship by simply pulling back a little bit. Attraction principle 4. Sometimes a man deliberately won't call just to see if you'll respond. Basically, this tactic is, I get it, but most of the time, whenever somebody does this to me, I will just back off. I really will. I'll be like, hey, you lost your chance. If you want to talk to me, you know my phone number. I'm like that. I'm that type of person, but I only do it whenever we're either arguing or stuff like that. I'm like, I ain't got time for this. If he wants to apologize, he wants to talk to me, then he can call me. But I personally will not be the first phone call otherwise. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'll be the first phone call if we're fine. Like, I don't care. It's really fine at this point. Because I've already made my stance in whoever I'm talking with. When I do these things, I've already made my stance of where I stand. I made the emotional stance. So at this point, it's like, hey, this is the person I am. I may call you as many times as I want a day, but know that don't fuck with me. Like, I'm that type of person. Like, do not cross me. Pulling back is also something men do to regain reassurance. No man is going to say, honey, I need reassurance about where I stand with you. Instead, he'll pull back to see how you'll react. When you react emotionally, it gives him a feeling of control. And if you react emotionally frequently over time, he will come to see you as less of a mental challenge. If he can't predict how you'll always react, you remain a challenge. So I used to do this in my last relationship. I used to react so fast that I honestly think my exes were like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know what to do with you. Now that I react a little bit slower, but I react a lot more calmer, and I react more with questions versus emotions, if that makes sense. I'm a very questionable person now. So I like to, if somebody's going to come at me about something really stupid, I'm like, oh, interesting. Well, it's X, Y, and Z. Like, I'm that type of person because it gives me an insight. It also gives me a branch of, I saw you. If you don't hear anything to a little long. Oh, this is the part where it's talking about like him not responding. What do you do? Do you blow up his phone? Don't blow up his phone. Know your worth. Know your value. Step back. If he's not calling you and it's been 3 days, peace out, dip. We're good. After the 72-hour mark, we ain't got time for this. We really don't. Nope. You are on the next playing field. Get in a different bracket. After 72 hours, he's not texting you back. Get in a different bracket. Raise your bracket higher. Keep your standards higher. Again, this isn't about learning how to play the game. This is about understanding the behavior of human nature and having, accordingly, a man will always want what he can't have. Very true. If you start out dependent, attraction principle 5. If you start out dependent, it turns him off. But if it's something he can't have, it becomes more of a challenge for him to get. Okay. But if you start out dependent on him, he simply doesn't value the same. Whenever I have dependencies on a man for certain things, if that makes sense. Like, I don't have many dependencies on a man, but what I do have is I have a desire. Let me correct myself. I have a desire to have a man in my life. I don't depend on having a man. I have a desire to have a man in my life. There's a difference. Attraction principle 6, it's your attitude about yourself that a man will adopt. So if I'm sitting here saying like, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm this, I'm that, he's going to start to realize, like, he's going to start to pick out my insecurities. And yes, that is very true. I know it sounds really bad, but you have to believe yourself. You are beautiful. You are kind. You deserve more. He will start to believe it. Trust me. That's just how it works, because your attitude is what he's going to pick up on. And if you are ugly to yourself, he's going to be ugly to you. It's very true. It does happen. Tearing yourself down before he does. Yes, that is true. Do not fight him on it. I already know. I fight, the guy I'm talking to all the time on my looks and my appearance, because I have gained some weight. I'm gonna do a video about it. I have gained some weight. I lost weight and then I gained it back like super rapidly, and I'm gonna make a video on like what happened and what happened. But I tell him, I'm like, I just don't feel like myself. I'm gonna go carb free. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And he's like, there's nothing wrong with you. And I have to stop telling myself that and stop telling him that, because he is the type of person to like snap me back into reality, and I'm just not okay with it. Like, let's just pipe down. Okay, anyways. Okay. This is it. One man's ugly is another man's everything, okay? And what he will not do, his friends will. Like, I want people to understand that this is not a toxic thing. It really isn't. Like, it's the understanding of, like, what he will not do, his friends will. Seriously. Act like a attraction principle 7. Act like a prize and he'll turn into a believer. Again, your belief system. A man knows what he's doing. He does. A man knows what he is doing. Don't compete with any other women. It's not a competition. It's a game. Game of life. The issue is not whether or not you turn him on. It's whether he stays turned on after you've been satisfied. Yes, that is very true. The difficult part isn't getting a man's interest. The trick is knowing how to sustain it. Much of holding your own in a relationship begins with how you can hold yourself. And overcompensating is overcompensating. You can't overcompensate and then think that, like, oh, like, I'm going to keep him that way. Because you're going to overcompensate for 30 years? Like, whew, that's a lot. That is a lot. Okay, when you lose your edge, the relationship loses its fire. Think of him as the match. You are the strike board. Her aura says she doesn't want him desperately, though, and needs him desperately enough. But won't let him get under her skin. This is where you shed a layer. One time. You keep shedding layers and shedding layers and shedding layers. But you just personally are not going to do it with this person. Shed layers. You're treading lightly in life. Yes, I get it. But you got to shed those bad toxic layers out. Attraction principle 8. The biggest variable between a bitch and a woman who is too nice is fear. The bitch shows that she's not afraid to be without him. Trust me, I'm not afraid to be without you. I'm not. But I choose to have you in my life. I'm not afraid to be without you because I lived without you before. And I can do it again. And I can do it again. Where's that meme? It's like, and I'll do it again. Okay. We are almost done with chapter 1. We are almost done. Okay. So, here are the 10 characteristics that define her. She maintains her independence. She doesn't pursue him. She is a mystery. She leaves him wanting. She doesn't let see her sweat. She remains in control of her time. She maintains a sense of humor. She places high values on herself. She is passionate about something other than him. She treats her body like a fine-tuned machine. And attraction principle 9, if the choice is between her dignity and having a relationship, the bitch will always prioritize her dignity above all else, which is so true. These are the 10 characteristics of the bitch, and yes, that is very true, and I have every single one of those characteristics, so just in case you want to figure out what I was, that is it. Anyways, guys, this was chapter 1 of Women Loves Bitches book club. Welcome to the book club. Make sure you stay tuned, subscribe so that you can see all the other chapters that we will do. Again, they will be released most likely every Friday, Saturday, depends. I think this week it's going to be released on Sunday. My bad, I forgot, and I scheduled differently. Also, I do have coaching now. I have one-on-one coaching. If you do not know, my name, let me introduce myself for a second. My name is Reyna. I have a law school channel, and I went to law school. I am a lawyer now, but I am also a John Maxwell certified leadership coach. But I have been through many relationship things in life. So if you check out all the links down below, I do have one-on-one coaching. And I also have a Patreon, so if you want to hit a girl up in Patreon, and I put a lot of videos in Patreon, like 2-minute, 3-minute videos in there, just like things that I think throughout the day, or like extra things, or just extra quotes, or just like things that I want advice on, that I want other people's advice on. So if you're down, and we also have a free Facebook group down below, so make sure you check out all those things. They will all be linked there, and I love every single one of you. I will see you in my next video. Bye, my babies.